lots of Americans to the doctor. It can lead to very scary situations all the way up to death. But take a look at your screen. Did you know that 75 million Americans have high blood pressure? That's 1 in every 3 adults. So it's you or the person to the left or the right of you. And only about half of the people with high blood pressure actually have their condition under control. Well, one of the first and most important steps is identifying the problem, is monitoring the problem, and having the right information when you walk into the doctor's office. So how many of you go and stand in line at the drugstore? How many of you sit down in a machine that's probably 20 years old and hasn't been calibrated recently, and you're standing in whatever stranger was sitting in just a moment ago? Why do that when tonight you can have a Veridian brand, our most impressive high-end at-home medical care equipment brand's very own digital automatic blood pressure monitor in your own home, taking your own readings, logging and cataloging them to share with the doctor so that you get consistency in your readings, so that you do it in the comfort and privacy of your own home, and so that you're equipped with the information that you need when you go to the doctor, either before you get on medication or when it's time to consider consulting getting on it. That's what we're offering to you tonight from Veridian at the lowest price we have ever done. This is a $35 automatic blood pressure monitor that you can get today at $10 off and on Flex for only $8 and change on a credit card. It comes in Ruby, and it comes in Emerald, and our registered nurse here on Healthy You, Matt Peters, is joining us. Now, as somebody that works in hospitals and works with doctors, I mean, blood pressure is one of the first things you check with any patient, and it seems like that number must never be fully accurate because there's all different circumstances that affect it, right?
It changes constantly. It really changes constantly. And, you know, we're talking about that great, you know, exercise tools that we're seeing in the last segment here. Before you start any exercise program, your doctor will tell you, make sure everything's good from the inside out.
Right.
And really what's alarming about those statistics, Brett, and I don't mean to scare everybody at home, but you might know some of this. You know, 1 in 3 adults has hypertension. So I look around this room right now in the studio, Brett, there are about 9 people around me here. That means that 3 of us have high blood pressure and only 2 of us actually know, okay? Only about half of the people who know have it under control with diet, exercise, you know, healthy lifestyle changes, things like that. And the pre-hypertension is really what scares me. So out there, you're watching, you might know somebody who's had a heart attack. For me, it was my mom, okay? And it was a scary situation. She's okay today, but the takeaway from the doctor was you need to know what's going on inside your body. And the first thing that I want to show everybody is look at that display. Here's what you get on this, okay? Veridian really does a good job. It's clinically accurate. You have that beautiful LCD display. You have a hypertension indicator here. That shows you that green right there means it's a reading so within normal limits.
Even if you really don't necessarily know the numbers, there's the big warning sign right there on that scale on the side.
Correct, and look at this, it's 126/80, that's systolic over diastolic, and it's gonna time and date stamp. Now the first thing that this is gonna show, besides your heart rate here, is it's also gonna show the average of the last 3 readings. So, as I go through this, when I hit this memory button and I cycle through the readings, you're gonna see that hypertension indicator will jump up and down if it's out of the green into the yellow into the red. So it's going to tell you if you have a reading that looks a little bit out of the ordinary, it's something you got to keep your eye on. It's also going to alert you to an irregular heartbeat.
Well, I think the important thing too is that you get to control the circumstances. If you get anxious in a doctor's office, your reading is not normal. If you are angry because you waited too long in the waiting room, your reading will not be normal. If traffic got in the way, this way you make it the routine. You do it at the same time of day, you do it in the same place in your house, you get real important, accurate information to share with your doctor. Knowledge is power, and we're talking about your heart health here. So this is the only chance to shop for it at this special sale price. Yes, it's on sale for you today to buy a medical device that, quite frankly, every home in America should have. It's a customer pick for its ease of use and its accuracy, and we only have a few hundred to go around. So with a very short presentation, let's show exactly how easy it is to actually take the reading, right?
Okay, you see it on the TV on that tape right there. It's for a healthy lifestyle, okay? It's when you're active. But as I pass this to Jen here, the first thing that you're gonna notice is that it has a nice, snug, latex-free cuff. So if you have any sort of latex allergy, you're not gonna have to worry about that with a reading or with a fitting. So what Jen's gonna do is she's gonna wrap that around and fasten it with that hook and loop enclosure and just press one button to get it started. Now, everybody, this is very important. If you have a blood pressure monitor at home, you need to upgrade to one that's clinically accurate. And what I am so impressed about as a registered nurse for my family members, for my friends, is the fact that it's clinically accurate. What good is one of these if it's not clinically accurate?
Well, and that's when I think about when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the drugstore. When was the last time that machine was calibrated? Did the people 3, 4, 5 before you, did they use it right? Did they wash their hands before they were touching it? Does it make you sick just thinking about sitting where they were sitting? This one, you know, is brand new. It's clinically accurate. It will give you real readings, and you can store those readings to share several with your doctor.
Okay, and take a look at this reading right here, because what we have is 137/89. That's her systolic over diastolic. Now, Jen likes to keep an eye on her heart rate. So right down at the bottom here, we have that heart rate of 83, and it's time and date stamped. Now, this hypertension indicator lets us know that it's right in the middle. So that easy color-coded hypertension indicator lets us know that that is a relatively safe reading. The other thing I want, you know, the ideal way to take your blood pressure, Jen has that nice triangle when she's turned this around so everybody can see her reading, but she has this nice little triangle, so this monitor is right at heart level for her, okay? That's very important because like Brett mentioned, when you're at home, you need to make sure that you use the proper technique. You have to have that nice triangle so that your machine is not fighting against gravity. You need to be nice and relaxed, and you need to be in a seated position, preferably for about 5 to 10 minutes before you take your reading. So if you get readings at home that seem a little bit off, it might be because you're not taking them in the right time.
The other nice thing to note is that it can store 2 separate people. So you can buy one for both you and your spouse. You both can monitor your heart rate, your blood pressure. You can store 60 readings each that you take to the doctor. Now, there's only 5 minutes left, and you see we're counting backwards here. This is a special sale price that has never been offered before on one of our most popular in-demand necessary health and wellness innovations that you need. And only during Healthy You, you get it home for under $9, for less than a copay. For less than what you're basically paying for the blood pressure medication that you're taking. Monitor consistently, monitor accurately, and own it in your own home. I mean, $9, you're probably spending that in gas over the course of a couple of weeks going back and forth to the drugstore. The time that you're wasting standing in line, the frustrations of writing down those numbers and trying to keep accurate record of them and making it a part of your day. This you own, this is top of the line, and you are amongst a wide breadth of people that need to watch this, whether it's hereditary, whether it's lifestyle choices in the past. I mean, the bottom line is 75 million Americans suffer from high blood pressure, and only about half of that 75 million are keeping it under control and doing something about it. Of half that number, so that'd be 37.5 million. I have 1,500 blood pressure monitors left to offer to you today at the lowest price. Now, with everybody shopping, I think there's only about 700 of these left. Our ruby color will sell out. You can get it in either the red ruby or the green emerald. But to get a product like this that you know you need, that you know you should have in your home, to get it on sale with Crazy Wonderful Flex today, this is what Healthy You is all about. Empowering you and connecting you to the right tools to get you to those preventative measures that you need to take. That's what Sharon Feckety was talking about. Preventative medicine, that's what Matt talks about, that we do with our doctors, monitoring and checking so we stay healthy.
Yeah, and take a look at what you just saw, okay? She's in the comfort of her own home.
Right.
It's ultimate discretion because, like Brett said, when you go out to the corner drugstore and you take your blood pressure on one of those machines that may not be properly calibrated, you really don't know what's going on inside you. And this is gonna hold, like Brett said, up to 60 readings for up to 2 users. I want to give a very important example because when we did look at those statistics, it's costing this country, high blood pressure that is, $46 billion a year. So think about your own personal situation. As I cycle through these readings, okay, think about your situation. If you have high blood pressure, God forbid if your family member has suffered a heart attack or a stroke, you're losing money too. You're losing money in lost wages, you're buying medications, hefty hospital bills, not to mention the tragic circumstances that really breaks our families apart. We can avoid a lot of these horrible circumstances just by knowing what's going on.
Early detection, early monitoring, and accurate monitoring that you can take to a doctor's office and share with them and not get over-medicated on day one because you're anxious in that doctor's office. I mean, I think our heart rates, they all go up, right? The stress of going to the doctor, the fear about what they're going to tell tell us, the frustration of waiting too long in the waiting room. This is simple, it's easy. And if you read the reviews, everybody says, look, it's become a part of my daily routine, no muss, no fuss. That's the simplicity here. That's the importance here. That's what preventative health and medicine should be all about, infusing its way into your daily life so that you have the information, the knowledge, and the power to protect yourself, whether it is hereditary or whether, you know, 50 years ago, we didn't know how bad grease and French fries were for us.
we didn't know at all, Brett. And you know what? If you're watching this, whether you have a history of hypertension or high blood pressure or not, you can't tell by looking at somebody that they have high blood pressure. So as Jen is taking her reading, she's gonna get that clinically accurate reading in just about 30 seconds or so with this Veridian monitor, okay? 123/88, and she has that hypertension indicator right in that green zone over here. So she's right in the middle. So that means she knows that she doesn't have a high reading. If she did, she could wait a couple of minutes, take a deep breath, and check it again. And if she has readings over time that trend out of the ordinary, simply bring those to your doctor. You know, you mentioned you get nervous when you go to the doctor. It's called white coat syndrome. So you might get a really high reading in the office. If you take medication for blood pressure, listen up, please, because a lot of times your doctor is going to calibrate your medication based on those really high readings.
Right.
So that means that
I have people in my life who were over-medicated when they got started. They had a bad reaction to it. They ended up going off it when they really needed to be on it. So
exactly, it's
listen,
dangerous.
Our clock has gone down. We're gonna give you one last moment to take a look. Ruby will sell out in the next moment or two. Emerald will follow it. With everybody on the phones, quite frankly, there's maybe 300 of these left to go. Remember, this flex pay is only for the Healthy You customer. It's only if you shop for it right now that you can spend less than $9 and never wait at the drugstore again, never worry about weird spikes in your numbers at the doctor's office, have both you and your spouse be able to log 60 different readings stored to be able to take into the doctor and go, here's where I'm really at for the last 2 months strong. It is the only chance to shop for it. In the tens of thousands of blood pressure monitors we sold at HSN, it is a highly rated and reviewed customer pick, and we've never done it at a sale price like this. This show is all about empowerment and going on a journey towards better health and wellness. There are genetic, there are hereditary, there are lifestyle choices that put so many of us in a position where we need to monitor and properly care for ourselves and our bodies. This is a no muss, no fuss situation. To not wait in line at the doctor's office, to not wait in line at the drugstore and wonder if that machine's been calibrated, to store the readings and give your doctor real deal information. It can make a real, tangible difference in your life. And it is our pleasure to offer you a great sale price and give you the opportunity to get one home and own one for less than $9 and not schlep out in the cold and the rain and the snow just because you want to have a consistent reading.
yes, and as a nurse for you here on HSN, I'm just telling you, this is technology bringing you a piece of prevention.